Hi dear, how are you? Hope that you're doing great. Today's lesson is going to be about adding integers. Well, I consider this as a game. It's not a lesson. Let's see what is it about. To add integers, there are two conditions to remember when adding. First, we need to remember when adding integers having the same sign, we add the numbers and then copy the sign. For example, -7 plus -1, they have the same sign. So I move on to the second step, which is adding the numbers. Add the 7 to the 1, that's going to be an 8. Now, after I write it, I move on to the third step, which is copy the sign. So the sign over here is minus, then it's a -8. The second thing we need to keep in mind is when adding two integers having different signs, we subtract the numbers and copy the sign of the integer with the larger number. What does this mean? I have -5 plus 3. These have different signs, -5 and +3 over here. So what am I going to do? I am going to subtract the numbers. So 5 minus 3 is going to be a 2. After I write the 2, I move on to the next third step. Copy the sign of the larger number. I have a 5 and a 3. Which one is greater? Of course, the 5. What's the sign of the 5? It's a minus, so the answer is a -2. Now, addition of integers, if they have the same sign, I always tell my students S for same, S for sign, which means I need to find the sum with an S. So we add the numbers and copy the sign, whether it's a plus sign or a minus sign. When they have different signs, D is the same as D in difference, and difference means that we need to subtract. We subtract the numbers and copy the sign of the larger number. It can be either a positive or a negative. Let's do some examples. +3 plus 5. Here I have the same sign, so I will add the numbers. 5 plus 3 is an 8. Write the sign. What is it? Plus, so it's a +8. Now over here, I have -3 plus -5. Now, this will change into a -3 plus and minus. When they're together, they will be changed into a -5. Now, what do I have here? -3 and -5. It's the same sign, so I add the numbers. It's an 8. What is the same sign? It's the minus. I write a minus. Now, over here, I have +3. Whenever I have plus and minus multiplied together, it's a -5 equal. Now, what do I have here? I have two different signs. When I have different signs, I need to subtract. So 5 minus 3 is a 2. Now, what's the sign? Look at the numbers. Which one is greater, the 5 or the 3? Of course, it's the 5. What's the sign of the 5? It's a minus, so the answer is a -2. Now, -3 plus +5. Two pluses together will change into a plus. So this is -3 plus 5. Now these two numbers have different signs, so I will subtract 5 minus 3 is a 2. What's the sign now? Which number is greater, the 5 or the 3? Of course, the 5. What's the sign of the 5? It's a plus, so the answer is a +2. Let's do some more examples. This one is a 3 plus 10. So this is a +3 plus 10. What do we have here? Same sign, so we add 10 plus 3 is a 13. What's the same sign? It's a plus, so +13. Now number 2. 4 plus -6. Plus and minus is going to be changed into a minus. So this one is a +4 minus 6. I have different signs over here, so subtract 4 from 6, it's a 2. Which number is greater? It's the 6. What's the sign of the 6? It's a minus, so the answer is a -2. Now, over here, I have -3, and plus minus will be changed into a -5. Let's check. -3 minus 5, it's the same sign, so I find the sum. The sum of 5 and 3 is 8. What's the same sign? Minus, so it's a -8. Over here, I have 9 plus minus 8 plus, and minus will be changed into a minus. So this will be 9 minus 8. What is the 9? It's a positive 9. Different signs, I find the difference. 9 minus 8 is a 1. Which number is greater than 9? What's the sign of the 9? It's a plus, so plus 1. Now, minus 6 plus 5 will be changed into a plus 5. So this is minus 6 plus 5. What do I have? Different signs, so I find the difference. 6 minus 5 is a 1. Now, which number is greater? It's the 6. What's the sign of the 6? Minus, so it's a minus 1. 13 plus minus 22 plus and minus will change into a minus. So this one is a 13 minus 22. Now, what's the sign of the 13? If it's not written, then it's a plus. If it's a plus, then I have different signs. Different signs means I need to find the difference. So 22 minus 13 is going to be a 9. Now, which number is greater? The 22. What's the sign? It's a minus, so minus 9. Now, let's move on to 9 and 10, then we'll do 7 and 8. 0 plus 34. We already said that 0 can never be positive or negative. And adding 34 to a 0, which means it's a positive 34. Now, 0 plus minus 56 plus and minus will be changed into minus. Now, 0 minus 56 is what? It's going to be a minus 56. Okay? Now, let's see. Over here, I have 3 numbers. Even if I had a million numbers, it's the same. We are going to start by solving the first 2, then we solve the third. First of all, 30 plus minus 16 plus minus 16 is going to be a minus 16. So 30 minus 16 is going to be a 14. What's the sign of 14? Let's check. 30 is the greater number. It has no sign, so it's positive. Then this is going to be a positive 14. Then I drop the plus and I drop the 5. I am left with 14 plus 5. 14 is a positive, so I have 2 positive numbers, the same sign. I'm going to add them. It's a 19. And what's that same sign? It's a plus. Okay? Let's do exercise 8. First, plus and minus together will be a minus. So this is 9 minus 2. Positive 9 minus 2. I have different signs, so I'm going to subtract. 9 minus 2 is a 7. What is this 7? Positive or negative? Let's check. 9 is greater than 2 and 9 is positive. So this is a plus 7. Then I add the plus 1 next to it. Over here, I have the same sign. So I'm going to find the sum. 7 plus 1 is an 8. What's that same sign? It's a plus. Okay? Let's check over here. Use the rules to complete each table. I have input and output, and I have the rule. The rule is to add a minus 7. The input is 1 minus 5 plus 3 minus 10. So what am I going to do over here? I will write plus 1 minus 7. 2 different signs, so I'll find the difference. I'll subtract. It's a 6. Since 7 is greater than 1 and it's a negative 7, so the answer is negative 6. Now I have minus 5 minus 7. What's this going to be? Same sign. I will add. It's a 12. What's that same sign? It's a minus, so minus 12. Now I have plus 3 minus 7. I have 2 different signs, so I find the difference. 7 minus 3 is a 4. Which number is greater? The 7. What's this sign? Negative, so it's a negative 4. I have minus 10 minus 7. Same sign. I will add the numbers, so it's a 17. What's the same sign? It's a minus. Let's move on to the second table. The rule here is to add 3. The input first one is plus 2, so plus 2 plus 3. I have the same sign, so I'll add the numbers. It's a 5. What's this same sign? It's a positive, so positive 5. Minus 4 plus 3. I have different signs, so I will find the difference. 4 minus 3 is a 1. Which number is greater? The 4. What's the sign of the 4? It's a minus, so minus 1. I have plus 9 plus 3. I have the same sign, so I'll find the sum. Add the numbers, it's a 12. What's the same sign? It's a plus, so plus 12. Last one, it's minus 8 plus 3. I have different signs, so I will subtract. 8 minus 3 is a 5. Which number is greater? It's the 8. What's the sign of the 8? Negative. So the answer is a negative 5. See, this is the game. This is the lesson for today. Please make sure that you watch the video at least 2 times before you start with your homework. That's very similar to the exercises I have solved with you. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you soon.